Today on the Bass Channel, we're checking out the ABM-EVO IV 300-watt head and the ABM-115 cabinet from Ashdown. So anybody who is familiar with Ashdowns is going to be familiar with a couple of the features, or a few of the features on this amp. Number one, Ashdown bass magnifier is what ABM stands for. Number two, you're going to see that great analog VU meter thing, which everybody loves about Ashdowns, right? The simplest thing about it is it's got one input, but that one input is linked to a switch that allows you to choose between passive and active. It's also got an input control, so that is setting the actual input level. And of course, the input level is what is shown on that cool VU meter. It's got a push-button selectable flat versus pre-shaped option, where if you leave the button out, it's got a fixed EQ kind of baked in to give it a bright and punchy character. But if you push that button in, then the preamp will give you a flat response. That function is also controllable via foot switch, so you've got a couple of tones right at the tap of a foot there. There's a button on the front panel marked Valve Drive Plus, which switches on the tube distortion section. The knob next to that button controls how much, of course, is blended in. There's an entire switch for turning on and off the giant EQ section. I say giant EQ section because it's a 9-band EQ. You've got 3 knobs for bass, middle, and treble, and in between those you have 6 more sliders for more fine-tuning of your EQ. We're going to go ahead and throw the EQ frequencies up on the screen here so you guys can see what all of those different controls do. This amp also features a compressor section with a push button to turn it on and off and a knob to adjust how much. And another feature that is familiar to Ashdown lovers the world over is going to be the sub-harmonics section. This is essentially an analog octaver with a knob that controls how much is blended in and of course a switch to turn it on and off. On the front panel, you've got a balanced DI, and you've got a push button right below it that allows you to change the DI from pre-EQ to post-EQ. Always handy, it's also got a push-to-mute switch on the front panel. It's got a dedicated line-level output that you can use to permanently connect it up to a tuner and always make sure you're in tune. It's got a regular line out that is post-output level, and of course you've got your basic output level knob. And that's just getting finished with the front panel. We've still got the entire back panel to go. The rear panel, first and foremost, has a line input socket so you can connect external auxiliary sources of audio to the system. You know, you can do a tape player or a CD player or an MP3 player or something that was actually built in this century. You've got an effects loop on the back here. Your serial effects loop is provided at a 0 dB level, so it's not going to boost or sag your effects. important to note that the effects loop is after just about everything in the preamp. So it's after the EQ section, it's after the sub-harmonics, it's after the valve distortion, etc. So it's also got a jack on the back for the handy dandy Ashdown 4-way foot switch, which controls the EQ, the valve drive, the compressor, and the sub-harmonics. Let's talk for a second about how we are capturing the sound out of this guy. Obviously, you're getting the direct signal out of the XLR from the head, but we're combining it with an array of microphones on that 1x15 cabinet. We've got a Shure Beta 52 on it, we've got an Electro Voice RE20 on it, and we've got a pair of Shure SM57s, one directly against the speaker and one pointed at the tweeter, which is turned all the way up. In this video, we decided to just go with one of those microphones. We're using the Beta 52 in this particular video. However, Chris is putting together a really huge, widely in-depth members version of this video in which he's going to show off every combination of all four of those mics on that cab. By the way, yes, the members-only version of this video is going to be Chris kind of giving you a day in the life as if you had purchased this amp yourself. So if you think that you would like that level of in-depth additional content about this amplifier, go ahead and click that join channel button and well, hey, you get that and a little bit more exclusive content and, of course, your commenter icons and little perks that we're still trying to kind of work out for our members. Speaking of the cabinet itself, again, this is one of the ABM-115 cabinets from the EVO series. It is not the neodymium version of that cabinet, so it's a little bit heavier, but it's a 300-watt cabinet. It's got 2 speak-on connections in the back. It's about the same size as most compact 115 cabinets, and it weighs 23.9 kilos, or in American units, about 50 pounds. For today's video, we need to thank Ashdown Engineering directly for sending us this amplifier to demo and test out for all of you lovely people out there in YouTube land. I'm going to go ahead and take off now and leave you with some more dulcet tones of this Ashdown amplifier, and I will see you next time around.